Howdy folks, this is Shane. Today we're doing a shoot out between two amplifiers. They're both on the floor right below me right here. We've got the Fender Mustang GT-100. I've also got my hands on the Fender Mustang III V2, thanks to my friend Khaled. So mate, thanks so much for letting me borrow this amp. It's been awesome to have it back and to do a little bit of a comparison, so thanks so much. Now, I've got both amps mic'd up with Rode M3 microphones in as close to the same position as I could get. I also tested how loud both amplifiers were with my professional sound decibel meter. So in the room, they're gig volume, they're pretty loud. So I've gone ahead and I've made two new patches. I've made a clean one and also a dirty one. It should give you some indication of how different these amps sound. Now they do sound different to each other. One's been used to death as well, so the older version 3 Mustang has probably a slightly more broken in speaker. I don't know how much of a difference that actually makes in my own personal opinion, but some people like to mention that. And the Fender Mustang GT-100 I've had for about a week or two, and I've used it live a couple of times, and that's about it. So nowhere near the same amount of use. I don't think it should matter that much. This first patch is the Fender Princeton with some mono delay, and that's it. So let's give this a shot. I've got it up, so it's clipping slightly. I kind of like that off clean tone, but here we go. This is neck pickup. Over to the Fender Mustang version 3. Back to the Fender Mustang GT. And back to the version 3. Over to the Fender Supersonic patch that I made for this particular video. We're going to start on the Fender Mustang III version 2. Here we go, bridge. Yeah. Over to the GT. So to my ear, the Mustang 3 kills it in this particular situation. I think the drive sounds, for whatever reason, just sound a little bit better on the version 3. So if you're looking to upgrade your amp and you're a huge fan of, say, the Supersonic or even some of the other drive tones, you might not get what you like out of the GT in that particular scenario. But in terms of clean, I definitely think this one's a definite upgrade, no doubt about it. So let's go ahead and try this again. This is bridge pickup still, into the GT. It's a very different sound. It's got more kind of tops, even with exactly the same setting. It's hard to explain. And the old Mustang 3 has the projection that I keep talking about, that 3D sound. Absolutely. Let's just go back one more time. This is back to the GT. It's got a projection, but it doesn't feel as bass heavy. So maybe let's just do a quick tweak here. I've turned the bass just up a little bit. Here we go. And lastly, I just thought I'd go quickly back to the Princeton patch as well, just so you can refresh your ears. This is the Mustang III version 2. Man, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And now back to the Fender Mustang GT. And back to the Mustang III. So there we have it, folks. That's the shootout between the GT-100 and the Mustang III version 2. Both are great amps in their own way. Now, should you upgrade? A lot of people have been asking me in the comments, should I upgrade from my old amp to the new amp? It just depends on what you like. For me personally, I can get my sound out of both of these now, whereas when the GT-100 was first out, I didn't feel like I could get my sound out of it. Now it's easy as, and it's loud. So I feel like, and I've used it live as well, and it works fine. Now, you've got to sort of ask yourself, do you like the dirty tones on the version 3? Because if you do, you'll probably not like the new GT as much. The version 3s, at least the Supersonic, a couple of the other patches I've had a chance to test as well, sound better on the older amp. That doesn't mean that they all sound better, but if you're a huge fan of the clean tones, I would probably say go for the GT-100 if you like to stack different pedals, if you want the Klon and a few other pedals and things that like the global EQs. If those things are useful for you, the GT-100 is definitely the way to go. And it's a whole lot lighter. It's almost half the weight of the old Mustang. So if weight's a concern and you want something loud, the GT-100 is going to do that. But I think you can get your sound out of both of these pretty easily, unless, of course, you're playing live and you love that sort of higher gain sound. I think the older version 3, for whatever reason, just sounds better in the room. I don't think it's just the speaker breaking in kind of thing either. I think it's just that projection of sound, at least to my ear, sounded better on the version 3. They're both extremely loud though. It's a different sort of sound with the higher gain tones, but with a clean tone and a pedal, or just the clean tones with a little delay like you heard, the difference is so minimal that it doesn't really matter. So it's up to you whether or not you want some of the new features, but as it stands right now, the GT-100 is pretty cool. So they've fixed a lot of the bugs. It's probably not the perfect modeling amp still, but it's definitely an improvement of where it was when it came out. But either of these amps are fine. If you can get your tone out of the old one and that's what you've got, hold on to it. There's probably no need to upgrade. Anyway guys, thanks again. I hope this has been helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Catch you soon. See ya.